Hello, and you're very welcome to Mick Neville Park for this Whitebox Properties Limerick Senior Hurling Championship clash. It is Adare versus Newcastle West, and my own name is Tom Clancy. I will be guiding you through this game in a short few minutes, and delighted to say the former Limerick captain James Ryan joins me for this one. Jim Bob, we must first talk about the weather. It's winter all of a sudden, I think, around Limerick. The ground is getting a bit softer, the wind is coming in, the rain is coming in, so that's a new challenge that the players probably wouldn't have seen in the earlier rounds, because it's been a couple of weeks since these teams lined out in hurling.
Yeah, and there's no doubt it definitely, when it comes to club anyway, probably the same amount of maybe strength and conditioning, or you've different kind of physiques with lads, so it definitely suits some teams better than others. I suppose South Liberty's win last night was maybe justification that maybe they needed to maybe slow it down and get more tackles in and things like that, but no, as you say, and I suppose the worst thing about today is when the weather's good, the sun is out, it's actually a lovely day, but you can't judge it. A shower could come at any time, so look, it's going to have a massive bearing, especially in the ball. In fairness to the lads, anyone hurling over the summer, we actually had a good summer in Ireland this year, so the ball was dry enough, so they haven't had much training, and the ball's going to be a bit slippy. Even if the day stays dry, the ball's going to be slippy, so it'll be interesting. Might maybe see some slip-ups around the goals and make it interesting for us commentating.
Yeah, now we know Monaleen have the group 1, 4 wins from 4. In second place at the moment is Adare. They've lost the first day, they drew the second day, but since then 2 wins from 2. They know the scenario for them is quite simple. They'll win, they'll get into a quarter final, they'll come second. So I suppose they don't need to be thinking of anything else other than going out and getting a third win on the bounce. Yeah,
that's Adare story. I suppose Newcastle West I know they're in a bit of trouble the other way, and if they get a win they could actually possibly qualify as well, but I suppose from Newcastle West's point of view, the 3 draws, even though they were great, and it shows that the confidence levels have been up a grade. I'm sure they came in a little bit wary, like any team would, coming up a level, saying, are we good enough, will we be able to survive? And they're gone nearly past that. Their confidence is high. Even the last day against Monaleen, they came right back into the game. I think Newcastle must be delighted with the way they've played in the Senior B Championship. They've come up, they've definitely met the grade, so look, they're in bonus territory to a degree. I know now there's a slight chance of relegation, but I think Newcastle West will be taking this as a shot at the dark, and as you say, Adare's psychology is very simple, just win the game, we're through. So yeah, it's interesting, but both teams have something to play for, which will always make an interesting game.
Now, you're a man from the south of the county as well, but for people from the west, they've longed for senior hurling. Obviously Adare have flown that flag maybe on their own for a number of years. I know Granabal and Gary were there historically as well, but it's probably great for the region of it's predominantly football, as people would know, but Newcastle West, credit to them, they've risen the ranks slowly but surely over the last few years. Knocked on that door a couple of times out of Premier Intermediate, but now we have a proper West Derby now in the senior championship. It's fantastic for people who love the small ball game in this part of the woods.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I suppose when I was playing with Limerick, maybe a lot of the West clubs were maybe down the levels, but the thing can change. When I started hurling Cleedy, Tournafulla, all of them were up senior, and then they dipped down. Fiona came up, went down, but as you say, Newcastle West, big town, got their structures right. They're definitely going to stay up senior the way they're playing. They've come up the levels very, very well. But look, Tom, it can change. The city are after getting way stronger. I suppose when I was growing up, the South and East were nearly the 2 strongest divisions, or maybe had a lot of county players, and now it's the city, and underage, and that the West are definitely number 2 behind us. South and East are nearly struggling behind. So look, the thing can change very quick, but as you say, at the moment at senior level, it's great to see West teams in it. I'd love to see a few more South and East now. The city are taking over, but look, that's going to happen in rural. Urban's going to kind of take over in rural, but no, brilliant for the West. And as you say, brilliant to have a game on here in Mick Neville, big hurling game, big senior game, because it was kind of coming a bit maybe compulsory. There was a big senior football game on back here, and it's great to see the hurling back in Rackeel, and a good game to look forward to.
Yeah, this is the first of 4 games we have here this afternoon. A reminder, at 3:30pm we have Napirsig versus Patrickswell, and then you have your choice of 2 games at 5pm, Ballybrown versus Kilmallock and Doon versus Ahan. So we'll have team news for this one very shortly.
GK Carpentry and Building Adare, for all your construction needs, also specialising in modular homes with a variety of sizes and finishes. Contact adarebnh@gmail.com. Conbrooder Kitchens and Interiors, designs you can love and use. We are a family-run business on the Shannon Estuary in Glynn, County Limerick. The business was set up in 1984 with the vision of providing clients with excellent service, quality manufacturing, bespoke design and fitting to meet your individual needs. Conbrooder Kitchens and Interiors. Visit us at conbrooder.ie or call us on 068 345 66. GK
We're here for this Whitebox Properties Limerick Senior Hurling Championship clash, a meeting of Adare and Newcastle West, and we'll take a look at the teams for this one. We'll start with Newcastle West, and the Newcastle West team shows a couple of changes to the listed 15, or indeed listed different numbers. As squad numbers nearly taking hold now in the Senior Hurling Championship, with Mike Quilligan in goals, Evan Sheehan, Seamus Hurley and Aaron Neville the full back line, Michael Cremin, Ethan Hurley and number 8 Dermot Lyons are the half back line. Rowan O'Connor wears 28 and he's listed at midfield. He's alongside captain Brian Hurley. The half forward line sees Brian Nix wearing 29 and out goes Brian Foley. Con Hayes and Owen Hurley compete at an exciting looking half forward line. Mike D is at corner forward. Mike McMahon is listed at 14 and Cathal Hayes comes into this, or stays in the side, at 15, with William Hurley, number 17, originally listed to start, but he misses out. A win paramount for Newcastle West, who are managed by native of the town, Derry McMahon. Taking a look now at the Adare side, and it has one change from the listed 15 given to the county board earlier this week. Goalkeeper is Shane O'Donoghue, David Connolly, captain Joe Sweeney, and now number 19 Mike Mackey are the full back line. In the half back line, John McSweeney, Ronan Connolly and John Fitzgibbon. Jody Hannon, David O'Mahony are partnered at midfield. Declan Hannon, Dara Gleeson and Sam Hickey listed at 10, 11 and 12. The formidable Patrick Carney is joined in the inside line by Sean Connolly and Mark Connolly. Jim Bob, you were right about the weather. When it clears up, it's lovely. The sun is shining. There's just to bring viewers up to speed, they probably see it with the flags. There's a decent enough breeze going from left to right on our screens, and that will certainly have an impact on this one.
Yeah, the biggest problem with the weather, as I said already, is it's absolutely beautiful at the moment, but a shower could just come at any moment. It's nearly inevitable the way the weather's been for the last 2 days, and when it rains heavy. So look, it will have a big bearing on the game. Just looking at the two teams you're calling them out, maybe I'm stating the obvious here, but they're two balanced teams. I don't think there's much between them. And Newcastle West, as I said already, look, I'm sure they've been looking. Adare have been looking at Newcastle West results and maybe been at a few games and all that kind of thing. But you could take a draw either way. You could say we were lucky to get it or we should have won. But the facts are the facts. The 3 draws in it. But I'm actually going to look at more at their loss. They lost to Monaleen. Monaleen actually pulled away by a lot, if memory serves me right. Last
10 or 11 points.
10 or 11, but Newcastle West came right back into it, and a lot of it was Mike Quilligan long range frees. So if Newcastle West are playing with the breeze, even Adare have to be very, very careful. Don't give away too many long range frees because he's been very accurate with them. Just maybe a coach point there, but Newcastle West have a very young team. I think bringing on Mike Mack at full forward is definitely. Maybe weather permitting, I think playing against the wind he's going to hold it up. Big Mike, he'd be like Joe Sweeney. He's going to have the size over him. So I think he's in there. I think Newcastle West might go direct, might hit a good few balls into Mike and knock him down for the likes of Cathal Hayes and that to be running under him. So look, Adare as well on the other side. I think Adare are nearly a different project. I think Adare would. Like you're looking at Newcastle West coming up from the intermediate, Tom. Last year, got up for the Premier Intermediate, should I say. A couple of years ago they were in the intermediate, so they're trying to get up a level, whereas Adare after coming down a level in the last couple of years, they probably still in their heads think they're a senior A team. So today is a kind of a mindset thing for Adare to say, can we win today and see where we're at going into the maybe quarterfinals against a senior A team. So even though they're both kind of in the same mindset, there's probably a different psychology in terms of maybe the competence of where the teams think they are at the moment. So it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, it sure is. Monaleen, as I said already, of the Group 1 with 4 wins from 4. Adare second on 5 points. Mungret St. Paul's, who are playing Drummond at Lacca, also throwing in at 2 p.m. They're on 4 points. Newcastle West, thanks to those 3 draws, on 3 points. And Kildown Palace-Genry in 5th place on 3 points, with scoring difference keeping them in that position. Drummond at Lacca need a win. They're playing, as I said, Mungret. They're on 1 point from their 4 starts. So we'll try and keep an eye on those games as this one progresses. Just looking at the Adare squad as well, Jim Bob. Number 18 and 20 there, Wayne McNamara and Willie Griffin. While I'm not going to try and retire anyone here on this broadcast, because of their injury woes earlier in the championship, 2 absolute warriors for their club down the years, Adare have actually had to evolve the team. We've seen the like young Patrick Carney is in there. We've had to see the likes of Sam Hickey come to the fore. John Fitzgibbon maybe has changed role because of it. So sometimes when things like that happen with injuries, it forces things to happen, and that could be good for this squad going forward. I'm sure the 2 lads will have something to contribute maybe today or beyond, but it's probably Adare probably have evolved ever so slightly because of it.
Yeah, Tom, I think it's good for any club. Like, you don't want to be the manager to go in and get rid of all the old lads or something, and some lads age better than others. Look at Patrick Horgan at 38, still moving very well for Cork, and TJ Reid still moving well for Kilkenny. But the fact of the matter is, if Cork and Kilkenny were still going out with fellas the age of TJ Reid and Pat Horgan in total, well, then you haven't moved on, and it'd be dodgy. So no, absolutely 100%. Unfortunately, Wayne is a bit old, he's picking up a couple of knocks. Willie's got a lot of miles on the clock, but as you said, they'll be impact subs. But it's good for any team to evolve and get young lads on and blood them as quick as you can. I think Newcastle West are testament to that. They're a lovely young team after coming up the ranks as well.
Absolutely, yeah. The likes of Dermot Lyons and the Hayes brothers, a testament to that. Guys with underage experience with Limerick. We'll do our best so to keep up to speed with positional changes as John O'Halloran, the match referee from Brewery, throws in the sliotar, and we're underway in this final round of the Whitebox Properties Limerick Senior Hurling Championship. It is Newcastle West playing from left to right in their familiar black and white colours, and Adare, of course, in the black and red, playing from right to left. It's the early possession with Newcastle West, and carrying the ball out of the fence is Dermot Lyons, and Lyons is pulled back, and there's going to be an early free here. And I wonder, will Mike Quilligan? Yeah, indeed, as Jim Bob touched upon, a nice little option to have. He's going to trot out and have a look at this one. Yeah, been called up by Ethan Hurley, and we saw the way he struck them in a short distance down the road in Sean Finn Park the last round, that he certainly knows where the posts are.
Yeah, 100%. And Newcastle West, just even there, they were nearly going to take a quick one. They were a bit slow, and Ethan Hurley was on the move. And again, Ethan Hurley there reading the break of the ball from the throw-in, and great composure to give the ball out, which resulted in this free.
So the ball is struck by Quilligan, didn't catch it as he would have liked, and it goes to the right and wide for the first of the game. Just trying to keep an eye on positional changes. It would appear that there's actually one late change again on the Adare side. So looks like Mike Keane, the number 29, is in fact in place of Mick Mackey, who we thought was going to start wearing 19. So 26 into the Adare team. Yet to see him on the ball, but here's Con Hayes out on that sideline, shortens the grip and sends it into McMahon, gets a stick to it, scramble for the possession there. McMahon though is well marshalled by David Connolly, and Adare thought they had it away. Ball worked back, and there's 5 or 6 bodies beneath it, and finally it's Ronan Connolly who gets on it, moves it out, and a diagonal ball played in here. The wind, as you can see, probably just slowing it up a little bit. Patrick Carney going to try and win that race. Ethan Hurley there with him, but it breaks to Dara Gleeson. Gleeson can't get it into his hand. Clean possession paramount here now for Gleeson. Up that sideline, Gleeson sending it across goal. That's a dangerous one. It's kept in around the square. Pulled on, shoulder charge is fair, says the referee, and Newcastle West can scramble it away. Nervy times in that full back line. A dangerous diagonal ball across the square as Cathal Hayes looks to race onto this one. Met there by Joe Sweeney, the Adare captain. And pitch a bit softer than it would have been here in the earlier rounds, as Newcastle West look to recycle the ball back out to Con Hayes, but back there is David O'Mahony, been very prominent so far. Here's Declan Hannon playing very deep in this opening few minutes, sends it inside, and Evan Sheehan, well, I thought he had it. No one seems to know where the ball is on that surface, and eventually a black jersey comes up with it. They can carry it out to that left wing. Here's the ball into Ruan O'Connor. Lovely interchange of passes. Oh, just as I say, that commentator's first ball spilled. Here on it is John Fitzgibbon. Fitzgibbon shortens the grip and just sends it inside, but there's strength in numbers back there for the Magpies. And Brian Hurley opens the shoulders, looking for Mike Mahon at the edge of that square. Where's it going? McMahon does well to keep it in. Chance it for Nix. Oh, good block in there. I tried to thread it through the eye of a needle. Good full power forward play from Mike McMahon. Knew if he caught it, he'd probably carried it over the inline. Just broke it down basically for his teammate.
Yeah, that's exactly why he's there. As you see, Declan Hannon catch.
Yeah, brilliant catch by Hannon. Hannon sends it across that square. Didn't try and take on his own score. Look for Sean Connolly, and the ball is going to hold up there. The Newcastle West man has lost his hurl, or should I say hurley? But anyway, the ball is still stuck to that surface. Back there is the number 4, Aaron Neville, who does well to give it to Quilligan. Quilligan under pressure, it's blocked, spills across the square, or across the arc, I should say. Well, it was a nervy moment, a bit too lax from Quilligan in the early exchanges, and we still await the first score after 4 minutes of action. Ball switched across the middle. Newcastle West looking to take a shot on here. Is that one going to go over? It might just do from Owen Hurley. Indeed it is. He brought it into the centre, hit it straight, let the wind do the rest. And fine opening score here, Jim Bob.
Yeah, that was a fair passage of play there for you to commentate on, Thomas. The longest time I've ever seen the ball not go out, but again it resulted in a great score for Owen Hurley. I think he's the first man who actually read the wind. The wind is definitely coming across the field here, and he read it beautifully.
Con Hayes wins the puck up. Mike McMahon on the turn, and McMahon just like that doubles the tally, and that's why he's in there. He didn't start the last day, came on in the second half, and he's been trusted from the offset. I think he's nephew of the manager, Derry McMahon, and Mike shows his worth there.
Yeah, and again, Mike done the very same thing as Owen. He's reading the play enough to go for the far post there, and on the left as we look down, it's going to float in. And I think, to be fair to both teams, I think they're only getting used to conditions in the field, and it's gas to see the two different styles of play at the moment, because West are very much getting the head up, trying to find a man, whereas they're trying to go run into the full forward line at the moment. Newcastle full back line, as you see, great score again from Owen Hurley.
Yeah, Owen Hurley just got it, decided there was no one within anywhere near him in terms of going to block or hook him, and Owen Hurley just lobs over another one.
And again, most teams, Tom, I've seen when they get a win, they think the wind's going to win the game from just keep launching ball, a bit like what Adare are doing against the wind. But Newcastle West, Owen Hurley's two scores are a testament to this fact that to get their head up, trying to find a wing forward, get to the shooter, and two good scores resulted from good play.
Yeah, okay, we're going to have a halt and Bray. Declan Hannon has, as you can see there, just picked up a knock on his head. Possession was with Newcastle West, so they will probably have an indirect free when we resume. Medics in immediately for Hannon.
And yeah, you could argue the fact that Adare nearly had a goal chance there with Derek Gleeson's ball across the line, but the cornerback done very well. Evan Sheehan, I think it was, done very well to stop that, and they've resulted getting the ball out. And again, with Mike Willigan's maybe blocked down, they could have nearly got a goal opportunity from that if Sam Hickey controlled the ball right. But at the moment, Newcastle West's full back line are coming out with nearly all the ball that's went in, and Adare are trying to be direct, so they may have to change things up if Newcastle West stay on top in the full back line.
Yeah, free is worth short. Ethan Hurley opens the shoulder. That's going to go very, very close. It's going to go all the way over. Ethan Hurley, we probably saw him in the early exchanges looking for a short free. This time it was indirect, so it had to be played to another man, and Hurley just lobbed it over again. Lovely to use the wind to perfection there.
And to be fair to Adare, I don't think that was sloppy defending. You wouldn't expect him to go back 20 yards and the ball to go over the bar. Great shot by Ethan Hurley, great score.
And here he is on the possession again. Saw him a bit more prominent in the National Hurling League for Limerick. Sends it across the Quilling, and that's composed and sensible goalkeeping. Man of great experience between the sticks in both codes, and they work it on to Owen Hurley. Just misses it there, and Hurley, under pressure from Patrick Carney, does well, and he's deemed to have thrown the ball there. John O'Halloran just about 8 or 9 metres away, so he spotted that one. And the first chance for there, but the wind continues to pick up. And I suppose, Jim Bob, you talk about the psychology of sport. Newcastle West will want to have got a foothold no matter which half or which way they're playing, but if they could build up a healthy lead here, it would really put the pressure on Adare, wouldn't it?
Yeah, maybe we're being a bit disingenuous to Adare. Maybe it's a hard win to play against at the moment, but you'd be expecting Adare being the more cool, calm, collective side at the moment, playing the ball out through the line stuff. But it's actually Newcastle West that are doing it with the wind, and that's why they're 4 points up at the moment.
John Fitzgibbon has got the settler. A nice free from him, and gets Adare off the mark. Playing in, I suppose, somewhat of a new position for him, certainly for Adare at wing back, but a man of great experience with the club, and a very good free taker to boot down the years as well. Quilligan, we'll see how far that carries. Well beyond the D, well beyond the 45. McMahon goes up for it, breaks nicely, and in there was Brian Nix, and Nix does the simple task of flicking it over the bar there, and that ball certainly carried.
Yeah, and that's exactly why they put Mike McMahon on there on the edge of the square. That's what his third or fourth time now after just knocking the ball down. Brian Nix is lethal under breaks in both hurling and football. Came on that, very hard to defend, and snapped it over the bar. And again, when Mike Cullen hit the ball down on top of the D there, and Mike can go up and break it, it's a good tactic and it's working so far.
Yeah, ball moved by Diarmuid Lyons into Con Hayes, and Hayes sends it back to Mike D. D takes on his man. Does well, does D, looking to shorten the grip. Oh, good block in there by the full-back who came out there was Joe Sweeney. D looking for it again. Scramble for possession continues. And here is the Adare number 3. They've worked it back to Jody Hannon. There's a bit better in terms of short play. Gives it to Darragh Gleeson. Gets his head up and sends it across to Declan Hannon, who's shaken off that knock from a few minutes ago. He's tracked by Michael Cremin. And Hannon off his left. Sends it inside Patrick Carney. Looking for it, but it's going to evade everyone and go out wide. So Adare will be conscious as well that they saw what happened the last puck out. Not to be giving away too many, I suppose, soft wides, if you like, because if he goes direct here, this is going to go 100 and odd metres down the pitch.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, a good play out at Adare Glees as well to hit the ball across to Declan Hannon. Maybe Declan Hannon might have been better suited to go for a shot there, maybe to get a score. As we see, Mike Culligan definitely didn't hit as long that time. I think he was trying to aim for Mike D as he hit out the ball.
He was indeed. A team full of Mikes, as Newcastle West seem to be at the moment anyway. The Adare men have worked it out. Joe Sweeney sweeping it up the field, looking for Mark Connolly. Good full back play there by Seamus Hurley. And Hurley just decides to flick it in towards Con Hayes. Hayes from the 65. Has he got it? Indeed he has. A big applause from the Newcastle West support that are here. And as we hit the 10-minute mark, that's 6 points to 1.
Yeah, and again, look, I suppose from a coaching point of view, if we're over there saying they're doing absolutely nothing wrong, only when they're getting the ball into the full forward line. Again, we see Seamus Hurley coming out. They're a very tenacious full back line. We see Aaron Neville there on Patrick Carney. They're just letting the ball pass to go out, wide ball. So, and the biggest thing with Seamus Hurley there, he didn't try and launch into my man. He saw that Con Hayes was free, and Con Hayes had the skill to put over the bar. So at the moment, Newcastle West well worth their 6 points to 1 lead.
Yeah, heads up hurling from Newcastle West. Oh, good turnover there. Here's Declan Hannon. Is going to have a go himself. That's going to go short, is it? So very tough battle inside there, but it's good full back play, if you like. Mark Connolly was trying to get on to the end of it, but Mike Culligan tidies it up and can now clear his lines as we'll bring up to speed on the other games in a second. Actually, Drummond at Lacka leading early doors 4 points to 2 against Mungret, and Monaleen are 4 points to 1 up on Kildimo Palace-Genry. What all that means, we'll have to get out the abacus in a little while and try and work it all out, but job to be done here for both these sides. Advantage coming and a free coming. I think it was a high challenge by one of the Adare men, and it's going to be a free in, and this is just going to add to the, I suppose, the belief and the energy that Newcastle West will have had coming into the game, and now, you know, the start will have done them the world of good as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And if we just go back a couple of moments ago with Declan Hennon's maybe shot, or was a ball into full forward line, just drop shot there. It was the first time where Adare worked hard, and any team that's playing against the wind, they're going to have to work harder. We see Newcastle West taking the free here. This free was all orchestrated by unbelievable work rate out of Newcastle West forward. So at the moment, Newcastle West aren't just beating them in the scoreboard, they're beating them in work rate and decision making. And if this half keeps going the way it's going, Newcastle West could have a good lead at half time.
Yeah, Con Hayes doesn't get the free on target, so second wide for Newcastle West, Premier Intermediate champions last year, winning the final in the Gaelic grounds against Gary Spillane. Sorry to remind you about that, James, but anyway, worthy winners on the day, I think you'd agree, as ball is fought for down here, and another loose hurley there, a chop, and it's going to be a free incoming for Adare. Patrick Carney could be the man to come out and take it.
Yeah, to be fair, the first maybe ill-discipline kind of unforced error out in Newcastle West in the whole half, kind of 12 minutes into the game. But even if you compare, I know county finals are different in that, but the way Newcastle West have nearly evolved in that short space of time in about 10 months, where getting their head up, playing the ball through the lines, they've really, I suppose, took to senior hurling in a good way. They're set up for puck outs, they're set up for frees, all that kind of stuff. So they've really improved and evolved in there, and that's what you have to do, obviously, to stay up.
So Patrick Carney testing angle with that breeze, and the breeze I think has just carried it off target. Indeed it has. So freeze missed at both ends now. The influence maybe of Chris Sexton, a very experienced coach, helping Newcastle West. He was heavily involved in Kildimo Palace-Genry's surge up the ranks as well, so now repeating the trick for Newcastle West. First win at senior though will be a huge one for them. Mike McMahon off balance, one-handed. Well, I tell you, on another day he might have found a green flag there, but that was unorthodox, didn't come off though, and Adare will look to do something at the other end. But again, the strength in numbers back there, all lovely little flick of the ball there, and it goes back to Evan Sheehan. Sheehan does well, but not on the same wavelength as one of his teammates. A chance for David O'Mahony to sweep it inside to Patrick Carney. This is what he's all about. He's going to take on his man. Carney does well. Oh, lovely block by Aaron Neville. Declan Hannon though. Hannon, ooh, just dropped a shot, and it fires over the bar, but we must compliment the build-up play from Adare, the defending, and then the finish from Declan Hannon. Some frantic stuff there.
Yeah, and a great ball in. has to be said. I suppose with the first ball, the Patrick Carney got straight in front of me, went to take on the man. But again, you have to compliment Newcastle's West's full back line. I wouldn't like to be on top of it. They're very tenacious. We see Brian Nix win a free there. And I would argue that he was tipped.
Just an early engagement from Joe Sweeney, and probably needless enough, the ball actually did carry out over the end line. So
yeah, and again, I don't know, is it on purpose or just the way the game is evolving, but it's very smart out of Mike Willigan. He's nearly on a ratio of every second puck out, he's going right down on top of.
Yeah, you don't want to be too predictable, do you?
Exactly, if he gets too predictable, the half back line for they are just going to filtrate back into that D, and they're going to get on the break. So when he's changing every second one, he's keeping the half back line honest, and when he does hit it into Mike Man, it's very evident because he's hitting it as high as he can and as long as he can, so it's fairly simple to know.
So Hayes, this time it's Cahill Hayes, and he knocks one over. So with approaching the quarter mark, they're 5 to the good after Brian Nix was fouled there. But they feel like they have to go short on the puck out, and indeed they do to Joe Sweeney. Conceded that free, so be eager to make amends. Sweeps it inside. You can see now maybe Declan Hannon has gone in towards the edge of the square as he did in the last round in the victory over Drummond at Lacka, but Newcastle West don't let the ball come in there. Nix tried to flick it up into his hand one-handed, but didn't come off. There's in amongst it Ronan Connolly, flicked now by O'Mahony, and O'Mahony, the ball just pulled on there, and it's going to go all the way out over this sideline. Patsy Coffey signals it. Line ball coming for Newcastle West.
Yeah, as you say about Newcastle West at the moment, and again, maybe it's very easy with the wind and maybe all things going their way, but they're looking way sharper at the moment to try and get the ball to hand. I know Brian Nix dropped that ball, but the 2 passes forward straight to hand, and that's why they're looking slick at the moment.
So cut down the field, but Connolly comes up with it, but not the greatest execution of his Hurley, and it's Ruan O'Connor gives it back to Hurley, does well enough to escape the challenges, and O'Connor sweeps it inside. Race for possession. Nix gets his stick to it, just losing his footing there, and David Connolly be enthused by that win, I suppose, in that battle. Gives it out to John McSweeney, looking inside for the full forward Sean Connolly. Connolly coming out with Hurley for company, and one Hurley to another. This is Eaton, and Mike Quilligan not just standing on his goal line, getting involved when possible, and makes the defensive work a little bit easier when he does that. But Adare read the flight of it, and John Fitzgibbon sends it into Patrick Carney. Just couldn't get it into his grasp. And again, you see the numbers at the breakdown there. 3 or 4 black jerseys every occasion. Adare a bit slow to crowd it, as Mike McMahon tangles inside there with the number 26, and an easy free out for Mike King.
Yeah, but Tom, I think it comes back to our point about Mike Quilligan hitting. If he hit every puck out into Mike McMahon, in the backs just filter back. I think that exact point is happening for Newcastle West. I think even subconsciously the Newcastle West half back line midfield know that every time their half forward line, or even the full half back line or the full back line get the ball, they're just trying to launch into the full forward line. They're trying to get it in front of Patrick Carney, in fairness, but at the moment Newcastle West both have numbers back there, and the man and Patrick Carney seems to be coming out with the ball. So as I say already, Newcastle West backs are well on top at the moment. I think that's telling the scoreline. They have only 2 points, got one of them was from John Fitzgibbon's long range free, so that'll just tell you Newcastle West are well on top at the moment, as we see John Fitzgibbon getting a free here, which is about 10 yards further up the field, but at an angle compared to his last one, so this might make it Adare's 3rd point.
Yeah, Drummond at Lacka certainly fighting on their backs, as I say, 6 points apiece, with Mungret St. Paul's in the other one. A chance for Fitzgibbon. Very testing angle, especially with that breeze, so doesn't catch it at all that well. Drops in around there. 0-2 Newcastle West, and collide pulled on. And straight into the hand really of Quilligan, and there's a collision of heads there, and it's Evan Sheehan. I think he ran straight in his own man, didn't he? And yeah, he collided with the fullback Seamus Hurley, and rightfully I think the referee has stopped play. But yeah, John Fitzgibbon, very difficult breeze, had to try and cut it through the teeth of it, but it dropped in there dangerously. And thankfully the shot was, I suppose, a tame one, and Mike Quilligan had his paw to it.
But again, from an Adare point of view, that was a disaster, because I think they needed that kind of a break, maybe to get him in, give him a bit of confidence. And look, Matt Connolly didn't have too many other options there. He'd done the right thing, just the connection of the ball wasn't right. It was hit straight at Mike Quilligan, but that definitely done Adare the world of good. I think it's what they actually needed to get him into it. But we're complimenting Newcastle West backs all day, and unfortunately it was just coming together of two players. I don't think Seamus Hurley knew he was going to come, and he just hit into him. So look, Mike Quilligan done very well. I think the ball out, it looked like Newcastle West going to win it. It looks like it's going to be a throwing ball, but again, maybe a chance squandered for Adare against the run of play that would have probably brought him back into the game.
Yeah, we'll see the youngsters of both clubs meeting at half time. They're getting warmed up beneath us. 6 points apiece is said between Mungret and Drummond at Lackett. There's a free coming there after that. Garnet Ballingarry leading Gary Spillane in the early exchange of 6 points to 3 in the Premier Intermediate, and the latest score I have for Monaleen and Killowen Palace Kenry is 8 points to 3 in favour of Monaleen, who will be looking ahead to quarter final next weekend. So they're going to want to go with that 100% record well intact, as Quilligan gives it to Hurley and off his favoured left side, opens up the shoulders, sends it in. In fact, he's put probably too much on it, as the wind perhaps carried it further than he would have liked, and a third wide for Newcastle West.
Yeah, maybe Mike Quilligan might have been better off maybe going for a score again, because he was maybe more central to the goal where he was, and he had the distance. But again, that the reason why that free was given there, they're going to have to do more. I'm on about work rate. The worst thing you can do is not work, but after that is give away soft frees. You have to try and make Newcastle West at least work the ball out, which they're doing now in fairness, but they have to do more of it. I'm sure Newcastle West will be doing that in the second half.
Yeah, lovely little short stick pass there. Just meant the ball wasn't swept up the wing needlessly, but it's been turned over around the middle. David O'Mahony, a little bit aimless. I'm sure he'd agree when he sees that one back, as Mike Quilligan gets on it. Quilligan, is he going to have a go? Scored from play in the last game. Those of you who watched the game will recall it was a fine effort too. Gives it in. McMahon, so difficult to get around him, and in around him is Brian Nix. And Newcastle West do not let Adare come out easy. Here's Con Hayes. In fact, it's Cahill Hayes, I should say, picked up now by Brian Hurley, and Hurley shortens the grip and fires it over, and they just do not let anything easy at both ends, really, do they? And Adare just couldn't get a hold of it and couldn't clear the lines.
Yeah, again, I'm looking at this from a coach point of view. I'm going to give my man great credit there again. He just body tackled, he didn't foul, he just got his body in and out, broke the ball down. Brian Nix is living in around him, getting the ball broke to Brian Hurley, as we see his brother breaking through here.
Yeah, Owen Hurley in splendid isolation, but hasn't got it right, and probably sometimes you can have too much time on your hands, maybe.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened there. I think he nearly misjudged the wind. He thought it was kind of maybe going to float it across. It didn't. I think he definitely didn't realise he had as much time as he did. But again, that all came through Newcastle's work rate. Again, we see number 9 going up there for Adare, and 3 Newcastle West fellas around him waiting for him to make a mistake.
David O'Mahony sweeps it inside. Good take from him, but Patrick Carney beaten to it again. Aaron Neville has been quite consistent back there already for Newcastle West. Their full back line have done plenty right so far, carried out now by Seamus Hurley. Off the stick, look for Mike D. Ball breaking there, it's going to come back to Seamus Hurley. He'll be getting a nosebleed in a second. Gives it on to Con Hayes. Hayes does well after a poor first touch, gets the second one right, just floats it into the breeze, and a lovely score by Con Hayes, made perhaps by Aaron Neville and certainly by Seamus Hurley.
Yeah, Seamus Hurley's having a fantastic game. He's tenacious, he's coming out in front. Not only that, then he's setting up plays, he's going up the field, and his decision making has been top class there. He knew he probably didn't have the accuracy in shooting there, especially maybe Con Hayes is the wind judge better. Great flick, and Con Hayes' second great point of the game.
So actually a push in the back there and a free out coming for Newcastle West. 8 points to 7 now. Mungret have edged back in front, and it's 9 points to 5 in favour of Monaleen in the other one in the senior championship. All sides with something to play for, with the exception of Monaleen, but their championship is guaranteed to go on into another week. 4 wins from 4, as Quilligan from his own 45 puts plenty on it, and plenty of accuracy too. That's a superb score, and he had a couple of sighters early on, and he's got it right here. Brilliant execution.
Yeah, I think he was thinking the same as us up here after eating Hurley's shot, that he's definitely running back saying I probably should have went for that. The wind's definitely after picking up again. But again, from an Adare point of view, if you were going in at half time, if you were on this team, you'd be very disappointed with the frees you're giving away. That was a puck out, and it was just caught by John O'Halloran for pulling there. So
yeah,
an easy free to give away. In fairness, Newcastle, they were just after giving away a free there. I think it's Seamus Hurley, but it's very few we've said it against Newcastle West in the first half.
Yeah, just a tangle between Seamus Hurley and Mark Connolly. Connolly gets it free, but he's in a fair amount of discomfort as we're into the last 7 minutes of regulation in this opening half.
But again, the psychology of going in at half time and things, even the free the Shams hurley gave away there, you could nearly justify it. He was up alongside his man, he didn't give him an inch, it was nearly a tangle of legs, whereas the last free Adare gave away was just deemed to have been a pull, a soft free, and managers, coaches, players themselves go mad over things like that. Soft frees, it kills a team, especially when the elements are there today with wind and rain. You just have to work hard and be disciplined.
Yeah, that will be certainly one of the key points for Newcastle West going into the second half. They will probably be under pressure defensively, so no needless frees, especially when you have the likes of Declan Hannon, John Fitzgibbon and Patrick Carney who can strike those dead balls, so that will be something that...
But again, Tom, we're the ones out looking at it here, maybe live at it, you have to say Adare will go in at half time, and I do think these elements will come out in the second half, but their body language needs to be better. They need to be thinking when the ball goes dead, the restarts, they're all over the place. Ethan Hurley's getting on soft free ball there, nobody marking him. All them things are going to have to improve in the second half for him to come back into the game.
It looks like Mark Connolly's day is done. He's hobbling off. He's been seeing extreme discomfort, and it looks like Willie Griffin, the role of the Griffin Dice is coming. A real sharp shooter, and he's coming in to the action, so his hamstring has been problematic, shall we say, in the championship so far. Hopefully from his point of view there's about 30 or 40 minutes of running in it as Patrick Carney lines up the free, and much needed score coming, you feel, and he's got it right on this occasion, so 10 points to 3.
And again, I think Willie Griffin will bring a different dynamic into that full forward line. Hopefully he's okay from a Adare point of view. He'll be quick, he'll be making different runs, he'll be going into space, and he'll have the experience to get word out to the midfield and half back line about the ball coming in.
Again, the ball long and direct, and again it heads to the floor, and again Newcastle West are there to disrupt the Adare defence, and nothing easy coming for that Adare full back line. And eventually a good win by Joe Sweeney, and he gets his free out, just held. I think his hurley was held. Decent crowd here as well, Jim Bob. I know we've about 750 odd seats, most of them filled, and we've a nice scattering around as well, so these two sides well supported in what potentially is their last outing of 2025 in hurling. Ball sent inside, Carney can't get on it. Willie Griffin though, he can. Carney now is injured on the floor. Ball sent across the square, chance of a goal, and is it gone over the bar? I think it has. It's Sam Hickey, and the umpire belatedly has gone for the white flag. I think we're unsure if it snuck wide, but yeah, looked to be just inside that post. You can see where the ball landed actually behind it. It was indeed a point from Sam Hickey. So
yeah,
half a goal chance.
It was half a goal. I'll tell you how much of a goal chance it was. The umpire didn't know where to look. He thought it was hitting the back of the net. So no, we weren't sure there. But no, it definitely went over the bar. In fairness, the umpire was trying to get out of the way. He thought the ball was hitting the back of the net. But look, again, as we said just before I came on, Willie Griffin, it's just the experience of getting under that break, the intelligence to give the ball across, and as you said, nearly created a goal the very minute he came on. No offence to Mark Connolly in that, but they were just getting beat all ends up in there, and when that does happen, Adare maybe not by choice, Mark Connolly got injured, but it does change up the whole dynamic now, and Willie will be confident after getting on that ball as well. Yeah,
and thankfully Patrick Carney is back to his feet, and looks maybe not 100%, but looks good enough to continue. Mike Quilligan sending it straight up the middle. Again, they're very loose considering there was a lot of time elapsed from the last play. There was ball breaks their way kindly though, and Ronan Connolly sweeps it up for Patrick Carney high in the air. We're met there though by Seamus Hurley, but Adare get on the break as the shot though is not a good one from Sean Connolly, and it goes to the left and wide.
Yeah, and to be fair to Adare as well, it's very hard to get ball into Patrick Carney at the moment because they're trying to hit the ball 60 yards, give it in front of him, the high ball.
The short puck out goes long. Where's it gone? Is it into the back of the net? It is. It's gone all the way in. It was Ethan Hurley took the short puck out from Mike Quilligan, and a real dangerous ball. It bounced up into the roof of the net, and Newcastle West get the break there.
Yeah, and even looking at the replay there, I know he mightn't have got contact with it, but it was Mike McMahon's goal, because if he didn't swing there, the goalie, he put the goalie off with the swing. He's a big man. When he swings, he didn't know where the ball was going to go. It's hard conditions, and I suppose they were tempted there a few times. Fantastic goal out of Newcastle West. I'm going to give it to Mike McMahon, and again a well-timed goal just before half-time.
They can debate it after who got the final touch, but it went all the way, and that's the main thing for Newcastle West, that they're looking to respond. Here is Willie Griffin, with Griffin bearing down the goal, off balance, free is coming, didn't get his strike away as well as he would have liked. He was fouled though, and that's the reason it's going to be a 20 metre free for Adare. Maybe slight possibility of Mike McMahon might have creeped into the square before the ball. Might have a look at it ourselves at half time, but fortune favours the brave. They went long and very, very accurately from Ethan Hurley, and if you're in the full back line there with that wind, it's so hard to get that flight of that ball right, and they obviously didn't.
Yeah, and I think the time of that goal is after killing it there as well. I felt they were just kind of coming back into the game. They had a goal chance.
Last 2 points as well, yeah.
Last 2 points. Willie Griffin starting to win the ball in there as a result of this free that we see Patrick Carney taken out. So that was a big blow for Adare just before half time.
So Carney knocks it over, and his second from a place ball, and 3 of their 5 scores now coming from frees. But the last 3 scores they have got have been, I suppose, cancelled out by that goal from Newcastle West. Mike Quilligan, no option to go short this time. Adare decided to push up and force them to go long. John Fitzgibbon breaks it there. Newcastle West unable to get on it. There is Fitzgibbon on it again, sweeps it across the field. There's Declan Hannon playing on that right hand side for a lot of this half, playing deep now, gives it into his brother Jody. Jody decides to hand pass, but it's well read on Newcastle West again with numbers everywhere. A supremely fit looking team. Ball worked out to Brian Nix. Has he turned it in enough? He hasn't. Didn't catch it well, and he kind of hits his Hurley in frustration. He's a real good sharpshooter when he gets his eye in, but maybe didn't catch that too well.
Yeah, he was trying to judge the wind, as you said. He just didn't connect the ball right. But as you said, the very minute, the most impressive thing about Newcastle West in this whole first half is the very minute they have the ball, they have options everywhere. Everyone's looking for the ball, and it looks like everyone's loose. So if they can play up to this level in the second half, then it'll be tough for Adare to come back into it.
Yeah, their work rate and quality are working in tandem so well, as the ball worked inside by Sam Hickey. Patrick Carney in there. Mike Quilligan again off his line. Ball breaking loose. And Adare looking for a free. A tangle between Quilligan and Willie Griffin. And I'd say it was more accidental than otherwise. Well, although he did probably lift the leg ever so slightly, but cuteness from Willie Griffin didn't take the long road around, made sure that he ended up on the floor. And the net result to be free. It was outside the 13 metre line, so it's going to be a 20 metre free.
Yeah, Willie Griffin's kind of hobbling around in between play, but when the ball is in play and it's around him, I'll tell you, he's moving very well. He's after nearly, dare I say, like if Newcastle West didn't get the goal, he's now after bringing Adare back into this game. He's after winning a couple of frees, obviously give the ball across. He's after being a big catalyst for Adare. And I think they're going to go in with a small bit of confidence, as bad as they were in the first half, if Patrick Carney puts his ball over, which inevitably is straight in front of goal.
Yeah, and indeed he does. And I think that could be the end of the half, although we'll see now what John O'Halloran allows. We're gone
2 minutes. He
did it too. All right, well, there we go. Thanks for that, John. And in fairness, Patsy Coffey communicating with us as well. Good to see the full complement really of officials here as the puck out tries to go a little bit shorter, but is intercepted by David O'Mahony. Adare would look to add another score, but they've turned it over, and the chance now for Con Hayes. Hayes gets on it on that left hand sideline, and I think he knew from the second it left his stick that it was heading wide, and I think that's half a dozen now for Adare.
Yeah, I think Adare have got the terms with the puck out as well. They're getting numbers back around Mike McMahon, just filtering back the field, willing to concede the shot puck out, which obviously Newcastle West aren't going to do with such strong wind.
Now Michael Cremin gets on it. Cremin sweeps it inside to Mike McMahon, gets a couple of metres of separation. McMahon on the turn didn't do what he wanted with it, and I'll bring up to speed Mungo St. Paul's 12 points, Drummond Alaka 8 is the latest score I have to hand, and Monaleen 11 points, Glen Pallaskenry 8 points. So perhaps going some bit to form in those ones, but again, elements a bit like here, we're not sure what their role they're playing in either of those games. Long way to go in this group still, as there's another free coming for Adare. And despite the goal aside, I mean, they've hit four points on the trot. The goal has interrupted that slightly, but I mean, Adare will have to cling on to that and then feel that they can use the wind just as good, if not better, than Newcastle West did. Yeah,
look, sport's an amazing thing, and commentary can fairly embarrass you as well, because if John Fitzgibbon puts his ball over or they get a point from it, suddenly they're kind of saying, why are you so against Adare at half time? And I think Owen Hurley and Mike McMahon will be very disappointed if they got them 2 points that I would say were nearly kind of clutched that, and they were easy enough scores at this level to get. Another 2 points would have been flattering to Newcastle West and made the scoreline maybe look more like the commentary were given.
Yeah, ball breaking out to Sam Hickey. The free went short. Hickey does well, lovely little dummy there, gives it back to Sean Connolly on the turn. They're looking for that last score of the half, really. Newcastle West again do well with the numbers. Dermot Lyons comes on it. Dermot Lyons, brilliant vision, gives it into Hurley, and Hurley from his own 65, I'd say that one is going to tail. Indeed it is, and suddenly the wide count has kind of grown up. I think that could be the final act of the half. Indeed it is. John O'Halloran calls a halt, and 110-6 this game by no means over. Newcastle West will be happy with their work, but I suppose they left it there. Maybe just grow a little bit, as you were saying there, Jim Bob. Just grow a little bit back into this game, and they're still not out of sight.
Yeah, and I think Adare, just maybe for the last 10 minutes of that half as well, got their tactics right. They got set up for puck-outs better. They started winning more breaking balls as they're getting numbers around it. I think bringing on a Willie Griffin gave them a bit of confidence. So, as you say, suddenly when Willie Griffin came on, I think the scoreline was only 10 to 3 points, and thereafter getting the 3 points, it was 10 because they got the goal just after. But no, it's definitely after bringing Adare back into it, and I think Adare will be very happy after conceding the goal. They knocked down a couple of scores as well after it. So look, it's all to play for in the second half, and again we could have egg in our face here in the second half, and Adare could just get a load of scores from playing. The win might just be a score and wind and all that kind of things, and Newcastle West might fade out of it. So look, a very interesting half to come. It'll just be interesting how Newcastle West can cope with playing against the wind, and what tactics Adare will do. Will they keep Declan Hannon wing forward for the puck outs? Will they try and move him into more central position? Will they try and get John Fitzgibbon shooting from range? He's very accurate. So look, there's a lot of dynamics in play here at half time. It'll be an interesting second half.
Yeah, so at half time, Newcastle West doing their best to keep their championship alive, trying to get into that top two. Mungret St. Paul's, though, at the moment are squeezing them out because they're leading 12 points to 9 against Drummond at Lacca at half time. That would, if results stay as it will, that would mean Drummond at Lacca would be relegated, and indeed, as it stands, Mungret St. Paul's will come in second place. And the other game as well, the latest score I have is Monaleen 11 points, Kildare Pallaskenry 10 points as they inch towards, and indeed that's now a half time score. So as it stands at half time, Monaleen will win the group with 5 wins from 5. Second spot will presently go to Mungret St. Paul's. Third then will be between Adare and Newcastle West, and then unfortunately Kildare Pallaskenry will miss out entirely, and then Drummond and Lacca will be relegated. But we'll take a break, and we'll bring you up to speed with all of that before the start of the second half. Newcastle West looking to take a shot on here. Is that one going to go over? It might just do from Owen Hurley. Indeed it is.
Across the field here, and he read it beautifully.
Con Hayes wins the puck up. Mike McMahon on the turn, and McMahon just like that doubles the tally. And
different styles of play at the moment, because West are very much getting the head up, trying to find a man, whereas they're trying to go run into the full forward line at the moment. Newcastle full back line, as you see, great score again from Owen Hurley.
Yeah, Owen Hurley.
Newcastle West stay on top in the full back line.
Yeah, free is worth short. Ethan Hurley opens the shoulder. That's going to go very, very close. It's going to go all the way over. Ethan Hurley
through the lines, but it's actually Newcastle West that are doing it with the wind, and that's why they're 4 points up at the moment.
John Fitzgibbon has got the settler as well. Quilligan. We'll see how far that carries. Well beyond the D, well beyond the 45. McMahon goes up for it, breaks nicely, and in there was Brian Nix, and Hurley just decides to flick it in towards Con Hayes. Hayes from the 65. Has he got it? Indeed he has. A big Patrick Carney. This is what he's all about. He's going to take on his man. Carney does well. Oh, lovely block by Aaron Neville. Declan Hannon. Oh, Hannon. Ooh, just dropped the shot.
As he can, and as long as he can, so it's fairly simple to know.
So Hayes, this time it's Cahill Hayes, and Newcastle West do not let Adare come out easy. Here's Con Hayes, in fact it's Cahill Hayes I should say, picked up now by Brian Hurley, and Hurley shortens the grip and fires it over, and Miss Hurley, he'll be getting a nosebleed in a second, gives it on to Con Hayes. Hayes does well after a poor first touch, gets the second one right, just floats it into the breeze, and a lovely score from 4 as Quilligan from his own 45 puts plenty on it, and plenty of accuracy too. That's a superb score. Running in it as Patrick Carney lines up the free, and much needed score coming, you feel. And he's got it right. Willie Griffin though, he can. Carney now is injured on the floor. Ball sent across the square. Chance of a goal, and is it gone over the bar? I think it has. It's Sam Hickey. Another good one from Sean Connolly, and it goes to the left and wide.
Yeah, and to be fair to Adare as well, it's very hard to get ball into Patrick Carney at the moment, because they're trying to hit the ball 60 yards, get it in front of him, the high ball.
The short puck out goes long. Where's it gone? Is it into the back of the net? It is.
And the ball in there as a result of this free that we see Patrick Carney taken out. So that was a big blow for Adare just before half time.
So Carney,
they're going to go in with a small bit of confidence, as bad as they were in the first half. If Patrick Carney puts his ball over, which inevitably is straight in front of goal.
Yeah, and indeed he does.
GK Carpentry and Building Adare for all your construction needs. Also specialising in modular homes with a variety of sizes and finishes. Contact adarebnh@gmail.com. Conbruder Kitchens and Interiors. Designs you can love and use. We are a family-run business on the Shannon Estuary in Glynn, County Limerick. The business was set up in 1984 with the vision of providing clients with excellent service, quality manufacturing, bespoke design and fitting to meet your individual needs. Conbruder Kitchens and Interiors. Visit us at conbruder.ie or call us on 068 345 66.
Okay, you're very welcome back to McNeville Park. Great to see the youngsters there of both, I think they're the under 8s of Newcastle West and Adare. Friendly at this point. I say as they get a bit older, Jim Bob, the rivalry will start to grow, won't it?
Give respect, get respect.
Yeah. I know, brilliant. And all enjoying their half-time exhibition there, and I think they avoided the rain as well, which is a bonus at this time of year. As I said, just as we head into half-time, just to look at the other scores, Killarney-Pallaskenry are trailing Monaleen. They need a win, I suppose, to guarantee they'll avoid the relegation mire, and also a win could potentially push them up the fields or up the table in terms of the top placings. But at the moment, things not going their way. Trailing narrowly, 11 points to 10 against Monaleen. Mungret St. Paul's are leading Drummond at Lacca 12 points to 9. That will see Drummond at Lacca relegated, and Mungret St. Paul's, as it stands, because of the result here in front of you, Mungret St. Paul's would jump to second. So at the table, at the live table, Monaleen 10 points in first, Mungret St. Paul's second with 6 points. Newcastle West will finish third with 5. Adare will finish with 5 in fourth. Killarney-Pallaskenry fifth with 3, and Drummond at Lacca going through that trapdoor as it stands. But 30 minutes of action in all 3 games still to come in the second half, so plenty of time for that to change. We're almost ready to go here, Jim Bob. Will Adare take a shoot on sight policy in this second half?
Yeah, they're after bringing on Brendan O'Connor there into full forward. They're putting Declan Hannon into the full forward line as well. So the full forward line tomorrow is Brendan O'Connor. As you see, Willie Griffin there is out to centre forward. So they've Brendan O'Connor, Patrick Kearney and Declan Hannon inside the full forward line. It's going to be route 1 again by the looks of it.
Ball worked inside by John McSweeney. Ball worked in straight away. Oh, back in the net. What a finish. What a first impact by Brendan O'Connor. How about that? A matter of seconds into this second half, and suddenly the dynamic of this game has changed massively. Yeah,
and I suppose in the first half didn't have a man inside that could just Brendan O'Connor's a big man, get up there and win the ball, and his agility just to turn and find the space, and he stuck into the corner. Great goal and a great start. State the obvious for Adare now in the second half to get their confidence going. And the line ball has gone now in their favour. Well, a huge pull out of the sky and dispatched to the back of the net. I don't think Mike Culligan even saw it coming. It was so accurate and so powerful into that corner, and suddenly now Adare with a bit of a pep in their step. They're going to try and launch another attack on this Newcastle West goal. Patrick Kearney makes the run. Oh, lovely touch with one hand on the stick. But Marshall there by Ethan Hurley out to that line, and ball kept in play. Declan Hannon going for it, but there's the defensive cover of Aaron Neville, and the ball has been over carried. So it was Sean Connolly who was replaced by Brendan O'Connor at half time, just swapping up their full forward line and immediately paying dividends. And again, they've forced the turnover now, so chance for Patrick Kearney to cut his WAP back to just 3 points. Yeah, and look, maybe it's the win, maybe it's a psychological thing, but Aaron Neville, Seamus Hurry, when they were getting the ball there, they were out in front, breaking the tackle, coming out in front there, and fortunately there against the wind there, maybe after conceding the goal now, the full back line are suddenly on the back foot. They're after conceding the goal, Brendan O'Connor beat his man, turned to put over there, and Aaron Neville after giving away a free there. So it's just interesting how a game can turn in the matter of seconds. So former Limerick minor Patrick Kearney has knocked over another, and inside 120 seconds of this second half they're back to within a score, so back to 3 points. A draw could be enough as well for them to prevail, depending on the margin of victory for Mungret, if indeed Mungret do win. So plenty of twists and turns, as I said, coming. If Willie Griffin flicks it in towards Declan Hannon, probably not the first time that's happened. Hannon can't get there though, but does enough to disrupt, and now Patrick Kearney can get on it. Can he get his first from play? I think he can. Patrick Kearney ravenous on the break. Declan Hannon did enough to disrupt, and Kearney snapped it up lovely. Yeah, and again, as we were saying, the first half there, Declan Hannon's tackle there was perfectly timed, just got the Hurley in the first half. They were giving away a free there and easing the pressure from Newcastle West. So again, massive credit to Adare. They're after upping their work rate, their discipline, and Patrick Kearney done really well to flick that ball over the bar. David Connolly on the break. Newcastle West finally getting numbers in there. Possession crucial. Newcastle West needs something to go their way in these next units. Willie Griffin, his influence is growing on this contest, you feel. Patrick Kearney beaten to it by Aaron Neville. He has been very, very good in that full back line. Tries to come out with it, does well in the end to get a hand pass away to Michael Kremen. Kremen sweeps it up the field. Mike D is going to be beneath it. So too is the centre half back Ronald Connolly. Entanglement off the ball sent inside looking for Brendan O'Connor, but this time Seamus Hurley comes up with it. Hurley one-handed sends it into Con Hayes. Hayes does very well. No Hurley in the Adare man's hand, so Hayes will race away from him in towards Mike McMahon. McMahon does well, but doesn't gather it, and
Eventually, though, he's joined by Cathal Hayes, and he does well to get it into his hand. Adare now, work rate certainly has gone up and starting to get numbers to the man with the ball as ball is carried inside. Now here's Brendan O'Connor. Has he caught it 3 times?
Yep.
I think he has, yeah. You spotted it, Jim Bob, at the same time as the ref. You take up the course, would you?
Yeah, I would. It's the grief I can't take, Tom, but he got that one right now, to be fair. But again, Brendan O'Connor, it's amazing at the moment that Adare's bench are making a big impact in this game. Willie Griffin's still on the breaking ball. He's getting the ball in first time. Adare sticking to the game plan and getting the ball in early. Brendan O'Connor's a massive anchor inside there. So look, Newcastle West haven't really started the game yet. They haven't come to terms with the wind. So it's all Adare at the moment.
Mike Quilligan. And you see what the wind is doing to that ball, holding it up and taking it very well in the air by David O'Mahony. O'Mahony off to the races. Green grass in front of him, taking on Hurley. Hurley loses his Hurley in the way, and it's put inside. It's curling in lovely, and O'Mahony gives the thumbs up to one of his teammates. Did it all himself though, and what's that? 4 scores in a row to start of the second half, plus the 2 before it. Adare have all the momentum now.
Yeah, great score, David O'Mahony there. Great athleticism, Sean. Broke the tackle there and went forward, and great accuracy as well. And again, Newcastle West, they were so good at in the first half, as we see they won a break there and that, but they were so good at in the first half was puck outs, getting men in around the ball, and at the moment it's been all Adare on the breaking ball and even competing for it in the air. And there's just a little bit of a miscommunication between midfield and half forward line for Newcastle West, who's going up for the ball, whereas that communication didn't need to be there in the first half because the wind was just going straight down and Mike Mack was the one going up for it. So look, I think that was the most important free they're going to have in the whole game, just to settle them down, maybe get their heads back into the game, restructure. But at the moment, it's all Adare. They seem to have their structure right. They seem to have their game plan right. They've moved Declan Hannon further up the field. So look, they've come right back into the game in a short period of time.
Yeah, 1 point game. Wouldn't rule out Quilligan putting this over the bar, but given what we saw from the Adare freeze in the first half, this may go short. He's looking for options, I think, inside. Decides though eventually to put it up into that Raquel sky. It's going to go close, but it's going to be short in around there. McMahon flicks on it and it's over the bar. The old style double in the air, and McMahon, he uses his size, uses his presence and uses his skill to just get a stick to it and over the bar. Could have easily went under.
My God, it's a fantastic skill. As you said, it was seen a lot in the 60s and 70s, kind of gone out of the game now, but it can cause consternation inside there. I didn't know where the ball, I thought it actually hit the crossbar, but an unbelievable score there. Great to see a flick in the modern game and a good score out of Mike McMahon again.
Yeah, one of the very difficult skills of hurling. Well, a lot of them are, I think I could certainly say anyway, but he did well there to make McMahon, and that free, while it didn't directly yield the score, it ended up with a score for the Magpies. Here's the midfielder, Brian Nick, sending it along to Con Hayes. Hayes from the sideline, has he got that? That is one of the scores of this afternoon. Brilliant stuff from Con Hayes. Had no doubt in his mind he was going to have a go, and brilliantly between the posts.
Yeah, we'll just have to compliment Mike McMahon, and something we rarely see in today's game, but that was definitely, as you said there in the commentary, score of the game. The angle, the power of the wind against him, the way he to judge it in, unbelievable score from the sideline from Con Hayes to get his 3rd point from play.
So a couple of quick fire scores just to put a bit of energy back in the Newcastle West challenge, put them as well, crucially 3 points to the good, and now they've won another free, and momentum can change like that. It's 5 points the margin between Mungret St. Paul's and Drummond at Lacca, so Drummond at Lacca needs something special in the next 25 minutes or so if they're to avoid a return to Premier Intermediate. They won their first 2 games last season and haven't won a senior hurling championship game since. Newcastle West though looking to win their first one at the grade since the return from the early 90s. They've moved the ball in, lovely triangle of play. Brian Nix with the touch into that hand. Nix from the sideline, has he judged it for perfection? In fact, it just tails across the face of the goal and wide. Lovely interchange of passes, and that's what Newcastle West are all about.
Yeah, exactly, and people were always saying about football, and in football, a lot of hurling only clubs probably give up the football or don't do it. Newcastle West are testament of they're bringing the football skills that they learned from obviously playing at a high level at senior football into the game, running off the shoulder, as you said, triangle passes, working the ball up the field against the wind, and it's worked from with both Con Hayes' point from play there and Brian Nix's wide, as we see ball go down the other end of the field there.
Yeah, careless use of the hurley, and maybe something like that is the decision. It's certainly a loose hurley that has caught Patrick Carney somewhere on the shins, and it means it's going to be a tap over free, so chance to cut the arrears for Adare back to 2. And I suppose the crucial thing for them, as well and all as they've done in the second half, they have to get their nose in front at some point it's all well and good playing well, but it's what's on the scoreboard that counts. And
yeah, absolutely, Tom. But I suppose again, we were complimenting Newcastle for everything done right in the first half. They don't want to be the team now to give away silly soft frees like chops and blocks like they did there, giving Patrick Carney and Adare a handy out there, just putting the ball over the bar. So look, as we see another one, just maybe it's hard for a team maybe that over eagerness about kind of getting in, winning the breaks, and then just a ridiculous free hurley around the head there. Conor will be very disappointed with that, and again it's just giving the likes of Jody Hannon and these lads a big G up to the lads up front that were winning frees and we're back in it. But as you say, Tom, I know you're saying they have to get maybe their nose in front, but they'll be very happy with the way the first 10 minutes of this half after going.
That's for sure. Yeah, back to 2 again, and could be back to 1 here. Carney with the furthest out he's been from goal really all afternoon, and he adds another one. It's 4 for him in the second half, including that nice score from play, and back to 1. So Newcastle West again will have to come up with some answers. The ball comes out here to Con Hayes. He's been very impressive. Hayes sends the hand pass along the line and flicked out off the stick of David Connolly, and it'll be a line ball for Newcastle West. And even Mike McMahon coming deep for that last puck out will tell you they know that puck out is under pressure. They're making it challenging, as is the wind of course, but they're particularly making them sweat a bit more in the puck out in the second half.
And I know they're under a bit of pressure because they are kind of on top now, but Newcastle have already given away too many frees. With a win like this, you have to make them shoot from play. It's your only hope. Patrick Carney put them over all day long with the wind going into the goals. Yeah,
Mike Keane sends it inside. There's a tussle inside there. Again, Quilligan, it's wise play to come off his goal line and assist his defenders, almost playing as a deep line defender really in that instance, as Brian Nix scrambling for it with Willie Griffin, and it works its way out to David O'Mahony. Gives it off to David Connolly. Connolly tried to curl one in the breeze, but he was under pressure. A good block there by Brian Hurley, the captain of Newcastle West, and it means it's gone to the left and wide.
Yeah, and we've seen Brian Nix try the exact same thing from the exact same position. The ball is not travelling back. When you hit it towards that, it seems to be going straight. The wind isn't taking that ball, and we see everyone hitting the ball a good bit wide from that side, to be fair. But a bit of running repairs here going on for Seamus Hurley. I think he got a knock going up for the last tussle with Brendan O'Connor.
Yeah, and Pallaskenry have hit the front 15 points to 14. They lead against Monaleen. It would be insignificant if Adare get their victory here.
I just see a big tactical switch there. Well, I consider a big tackle. They're bringing John Fitzgibbon into the centre just to, I presume, well, Con Hayes is actually on into full forward line now, but John Fitzgibbon's gone back to centre back to just feel maybe Con Hayes is on maybe too much ball, which they will be right, because he's on the world of ball, driving Newcastle West forward. So we just see Ronan Connolly gone out to wing and John Fitzgibbon gone into centre.
So running repairs for one of the Newcastle West men over to our right, so that's why we're halted in play here.
And as well, good tactics out of Newcastle West to bring Mike McMahon out to the half forward line for puck outs, because at the moment they've no kind of option there for the puck outs. So the puck out from Quilligan, looking towards the general direction of Mike McMahon. I'd say he's going to be right underneath the landings. Does so well. Does McMahon, wins his free. Fouled by Mike Keane, and one of the most physically imposing men in either court in the county, showing his work there. And a simple old game sometimes, because I think it was an obvious target for Quilligan, but McMahon made it easier by getting up with that lovely little jump as well. Yeah, and again, Adare have made some very good changes at half time, but I think Mike McMahon helped him at half time. They brought on Brendan O'Connor, saying a big man around the edge of the square here. The conditions are allowing for this, but again, you use your where you're good at, and Mike McMahon's, as you said, one of the biggest men hurling in the country, so why not bring him out the half forward line? And it's after resulting in Mike Quilligan putting over a free. Yeah, lovely score from Quilligan. I think that's his second, isn't it? And with 43 minutes gone, they're just keeping their noses in front, and a couple of more plays like that could be the tonic that's needed for Newcastle West. They'll probably have one eye on other results, certainly not the players, but those on the sideline, as ball drops down just outside that 20-metre line. Hurley coming out with it, Ethan Hurley that is, does well, sends it back across to Michael Cremin with the good hand, sends it across there. There's going to be a race for the ball here, and Newcastle West will win it. Brian Nix does very well, gives it off to Con Hayes. We've seen what he's able to do from here. Marshall all the way by David O'Mahony, and it means it goes in around the danger zone. Touched by Shane O'Donoghue on the Hurley. O'Donoghue coming out with it. Play will continue, and eventually a free in coming for the Magpies. Big win there by Owen Hurley. Gives a bit of a fist pump and G's up his charges outside there. Well, it was scrambled defence, and eventually, the number 12 was upended, and well, Newcastle West will be energised, I'm sure, by that. no, these moments are massive for Newcastle West. Any score they can get now at the moment, it's they're like hen's teeth at the moment, playing against the wind. Everything's a struggle. So putting that ball over the bar there. But Carl Hayes is a massive score for Newcastle West. I think Owen Hurley and the few around him knew that as well.
Yeah, so 4 of the last 6, I suppose 2 points for Newcastle West, 2 back for there, and another 2 for Newcastle West keeps the gap at the 3-point mark, as they're starting now to get their little mojo back in terms of their defensive duty, as Dermot Lyons carries it up. Lyons, one of the younger men on this Newcastle West team, sends it inside to Owen Hurley. Hurley back to McMahon. McMahon tried to just flick it over there, but he was well marshalled by John McSweeney, and Adare will come away with it. Time ticking down on both these side seasons. You'd feel one of them could grasp it from here, as Con Hayes, he's starting to get very much involved in this one. Moves away from his man. Has he got it? He has indeed. Con Hayes, elusive play and brilliant score to boot, means they're now 4 to the good.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, if Keane Lynch caught a ball like Con Hayes did there, he actually caught it with his dominant hand, his top hand, his hurley hand, unbelievable, and didn't be able to switch it back and didn't do the sidestep to make the space for the score and didn't put it over against the wind. A fantastic score. Con Hayes, apart from the 4 points in play he's got, he's been unbelievable at driving Newcastle West forward. He's been the anchor there in the centre forward, coming out around midfield, winning ball and linking up people, as you say, with triangles and stuff. So he's been a big addition to Newcastle West here in the second half.
Yeah, there's an injury for Ethan Hurley, and he's just down prone on the deck, as just trying to keep you up to speed with the other one. Gareth Spillane still leading. Granite Ballygar still leading Gareth Spillane in the Premier Intermediate by a point. That's the latest score I have there, 11 points to 1-7 at the 2/3 mark. Monaleen have inched back in front, 17 points to 16 over Kildown Pallaskenry, while the latest score we have is Mungret St. Paul 17, Drummond at Lacca 11, well in fact now 12 points. Yeah, and I'm sure Roger Hayes, father of Con, I think he's, I've just been told he's on his holidays. I'm sure he's somewhere a bit less breezy than here. I'm sure he's happy with Con's contribution so far, but he'll probably be biting his nails as this game comes to its conclusion. But hello to you, Roger, wherever you are, and I hope you're enjoying it.
He's having a fine game.
Indeed he is, as ball is carried out. Referee decides the free is coming. It was a tanglement between Ethan Hurley and Patrick Carney. Hurley, the infringed party, he had the ball in his hand. Mike Culligan is going to trot up and probably try and work the clock a little bit as well. Game management key as well. Those 3 draws, I think, James, you said it earlier as well, that some of them they'd have been happier than others with. They were certainly frustrated with the one with Drummond at Lacca. Hit an awful lot of wides that afternoon, but another draw is not what they're after here this afternoon. They want to get the win and see where it takes them. There, work it out though, as Ronan Connolly gets on it. Someone off his shoulder. Connolly does well, gives it to, I think it's Jody Hannon. Hannon can't get it, and Newcastle West again tigerish around there through Dermot Lyons, but they've just fouled. I think it was Brian Hurley with the foul, and Mike D looking for a fresh Hurley as well out there. But yeah, the clock ticking a little bit faster than Adare would like. All of a sudden, I mean, they're 4 down, and that early second half impetus they have has kind of been lost, because Newcastle West have steadied the ship as well.
Yeah, and I would argue the fact if we're on the field of play, even if it's a subconscious thing, we were saying about Mike Quilligan keeping him on us, hitting a few puck outs to the half. Newcastle was half forward line just to draw the half back line out. Adare have been very one dimensional. They've hit the ball down to the full forward line. It obviously worked with them for Brendan O'Connor's goal, but I think Ethan Hurley has gotten the world of breaking ball. He's filtering back. He's kind of cutting out some of that ball going in. So Adare maybe need to play a couple of sharp balls, get the head up to keep Newcastle West defence honest.
Lovely score from John Fitzgibbon just inside his own half, and we've seen him against the wind, now we've seen him with the wind. They'll be wise not to give away too many more like that. Cuts it back to a 1-score game. So we did see a sub for Adare, trying to bring up to speed at who that was. Darragh Gleeson has certainly been replaced, who's in, I will confirm momentarily, is lovely little stick work by Ethan Hurley. Marshall all the way, and he gets his foul. Willie Griffin and John Fitzgibbon, as well, the 2 men getting to know each other there.
Yeah, I really think 6 and 11 for Newcastle West. Eaton and Con have really come into the game. I think Ethan Hurley is winning the world of breaking ball there. He seemed, I know Adare seemed to be playing kind of all the forwards up the field, but he seems like he's playing as a sweeper. Maybe he's just drifting off the man a bit. I think that's John Fitzgibbon after coming back up into the forwards now. So they are trying everything. They know they're a little bit against it, even though they've the wind. Newcastle West are still very much on top in moments of this game.
Yeah, three very familiar names in terms of Adare's prominence in the last few years. Look to be in the half forward line at the moment, but ball in around the square. That's a dangerous one. McMahon is going to go racing for it. They're wrestling for it. McMahon does so well. Gets it into his hand, gives it back to Owen Hurley. Hurley breaking through a couple of challenges. McMahon is around on the loop for him. Where's he going with that one? Well, he's had a go. We're coming back for the free. And it was David O'Mahony. In fact, sorry, it was 18, Wayne McNamara, who's also been introduced. I think he came on for Derek Gleeson. Just going to see where Wayne is.
Yeah, they're after putting Wayne back into back, bringing John Fitzgibbon up to the wing forward. And obviously they're trying to get John on the ball a bit, given his accuracy, and he's well able to shoot from range as well. But again, Tom, I just think Mike McMahon there, he's got the strength of Mike Keane. I think if you can play Mike McMahon in a lot of ways, but trying to outmuscle him, he's not. I don't think he's. There's top forwards for Irish rugby that had struggled to do it, so maybe change up tactic there as we see. Carl Hayes put over another free.
Yeah, keeps the margin in a healthy position for Newcastle West. Yeah, speaking of rugby, Mike has played plenty of it down the years, and hurling and football as well. He's played it all really, as ball work back by Declan Hannon to Sam Hickey. Hickey from that sideline though sees it go across the face, and Adare will want to start I suppose nailing those sort of opportunities. 10 minutes left in this competition for one, if not both of these sides.
Great puck out. No, just gone out. It was good thinking. Just see Declan Hannon there now. It's going to be slowed up. Declan Hannon needs attention. Unfortunately, the wind can actually, sometimes it can take your players out of it. We just saw a glimpse of how good Declan Hannon is in the air there, but very little balls went out on top of him because of the wind has all been going down into the full forward line. But Declan's under pressure here with this ankle. This ankle seems to be giving him trouble for numerous years now, so he might be in trouble now as well, and that's exactly what Adare don't need going into the last 10 minutes of this game.
Yeah, he would have been a teenager, wouldn't they, when they won their last county title in 2009, I think, or 10. Kind of coming onto the scene then, wasn't it? Yeah, so they lasted 3 in a row, and has done so much in between for club and county. Hopefully his day is not done, but it's not looking good for Declan over on that far side. There's tanglement off the ball between Brian Nix and John McSweeney. John O'Halloran's going to come in and have a word. Well, we did call it a West Derby. They're making sure it's a derby, and they probably know what's at play really in the next 10 minutes or so as well. So
yeah, John's looking fairly calm about it. Mikey Brown here in front of us hasn't moved
an inch,
an absolute inch or a centimetre even. So I'd say he's just going to go in and have a word or two lads. In fairness, the game has been played in a good nature. Given the conditions, there hasn't been a dirty swipe or anything in it. So look, I think he's right. He's just chatting away to a few of them, saying, "Get on with it, lads. You've 10 minutes left."
Yeah, we're still waiting for Declan Hannon, who looks in. I'm unfortunately going to say big bother over there. Conor Ryan in the number 4, who didn't start, is being prepared over with on the far side. He's wearing the yellow helmet. We might see him momentarily as the wind and the rain continues to, or starts to pick up even more here in McNeville Park.
Yeah, just even going on body language there, Tom. Declan looks like he looks like he's kind of one of them ones going to run off, but the way he's moving, it's very, very gingerly altogether. Yeah,
ball caught inside there. Dangerous one. Came off the hand of Hurley, and Quilligan was alive and to it, and as well to tidy it up. Championship minutes now, as I say, for both these sides. Adare, Declan Hannon, I think his day is done, and it's very disappointing. A player of any nature, especially a man of his calibre, looking to his day may be done. Ball blocked in down there. 4 Newcastle West men inside there, as Adare look to clear the lines. Here's Wayne McNamara, moves it on to David O'Mahony. O'Mahony opens the shoulders, looking for Willie Griffin inside. Griffin though, well marshalled there by Seamus Hurley. The ball escapes them all, and it goes down the far end as the latest score, Mungo St. Paul's 20 points, Drummond at Lack of 14. It looks like Drummond at Lack's time in senior championship is over after just 2 seasons, unless they have some miraculous recovery in the last few minutes. Monaleen 20 points, Kildare and Pallaskenry 17 is the score after 53 minutes of that one. Back underway here though. They're looking to book their place with a bit of a comeback here in the last 6 of the Limerick Senior Hurling Championship. Ball work back, and this is Ronan Connolly sending it in and around the edge of the square. Oh, well taken inside there. What have we? Have we a penalty? We do indeed. Brendan O'Connor pulls it out of the air, and marshalled all the way, illegally though, by Seamus Hurley, and it's going to be a penalty. Big moment coming up now, and John Fitzgibbon has been trusted with the ball for this one. It probably looked a foul to me, and we're just seeing it back here ourselves. Turned his man, yeah, that's...
Look, look, we're here watching the replays and we're still undecided about it. I think John O'Halloran has to give a penalty in that situation. I think
James Hurley got very tight, too tight, if you know what I mean.
But if even for defenders, and maybe they disagree, but the one thing you have to do there is not let the man win the ball, because if you do, these things happen. It looked like he might have been tripped. It looked like he might have dived and went down the way he was going to hit the ball. But from the referee's point of view and from us looking at it here live, it looked like a penalty all day long. And what made it worse was the two men seemed to be going in on the one, which
the two Hurleys either side of him,
which makes it hard for the referee.
So John Fitzgibbon for the back of the net. What's he done? He's flashed it over. I think Quilligan tracked it, and crucially now it's a big let off for Newcastle West. Fitzgibbon probably hit it a little bit higher. Well, definitely hit it a bit higher than he would have liked, but
you know, in these situations, dare I say, could you nearly be too good a striker of the ball? Because I wouldn't be known for my striking, so the one thing I'd do there is hit it low and hard. I think a lot of people listening would be the same.
Even in this weather, yeah.
Here's
Fitzgibbon now looking to quickly add another. Correctly. And he does indeed shorten the grip on the left-hand side, and John Fitzgibbon has certainly come to play and certainly come to continue the Adare fight in this game. 5 minutes of regulation as the puck out comes out to great puck out to Brian Nix. Nix shortens the grip, send it inside now to Con Hayes. Hayes has been brilliant in the second half, looking to add another one. It will be greeted by a huge roar. Where's it going to go? It's gone over. The umpires agree. Con Hayes, brilliant stuff from him. Just what the doctor ordered.
Look, I don't know, is it the number on his back as well? We're going to compare him to Keane Lynch again. He's cut ball the other hand. He's after flicking, he's after scoring on his left. That one there on his back foot on his right against the wind. We've given out about a few people taking shots from that angle there a few times, so that's an unbelievable score. Probably, have we seen a few good ones? That's probably scored again. Yeah,
Patrick Carney breaking through the lines. The plenty of attention there. Carney, it comes off the post, breaks back inside. There's a chance of a goal. Saved by Quilligan. It comes back to John Fitzgibbon. Back of the net. He finishes it off. John Fitzgibbon. There's appeals aplenty from Newcastle West. I'm not sure what they're seeing in there. There was perhaps a collision with Willie Griffin and one of the players. I'm not sure was there much in it, but unfortunately Mike Quilligan is worse for wear inside there. But John Fitzgibbon, the goal stands, has levelled this one up with just 4 minutes to go. It was a pretty good save, I thought, from Quilligan. Did well then to pull it out, but unfortunately for him, went straight to a red and black jersey.
Yeah, it was.
What a dramatic passage to play.
Absolutely, everything happening here. But to be fair to Patrick Carney there, he showed unbelievable feet, unbelievable agility. He actually got himself in trouble, and the ability to get himself out of trouble there again. A misfortune for Newcastle West, fortunate for Adare. It just fell to the path of John Fitzgibbon. He definitely redeemed his shot for the penalty. He kept it low, put it into the corner. Dare I say, nearly half against the run of play, but Adare after coming back into the game. I know they just missed the penalty, but Newcastle West starting to get it right. We see a bit of a schmozzle here, and
well, it's all going on after the helmets off and everything. But
yeah, look, it's coming down to the last couple of minutes of the game now. Mikey Brown is in watching everything there from that point of view. We just see Newcastle West fella is after going down, so we see I
think it's Brian Hurley is limping away from that one. It's still going on a little bit, as you can see there on your screens.
Yeah, there was a bell somewhere. Mikey Brown's trying to get John O'Halloran's attention, so I'd say we'll definitely be seeing cards here. What colour, I don't know, I didn't see it. Only just saw a lot of people running in the corner of my eye together instead of away from each other, making space. So Willie Griffin's actually, the goal down here has been disallowed.
Wow.
So we saw it from the replay when Mike Quilligan actually cleared the ball. Willie Griffin must have hit him late. The umpires are after saying to him, so it's all going on here.
That is a big decision by the officials here. John O'Halloran, one of the most experienced officials in the county, consulting with his umpires. He's given a yellow card. Now I suppose maybe the technical language is a charge of the goalkeeper from the number 20, Willie Griffin. Griffin has got a yellow card, as you've seen, so the goal is disallowed. Wow.
And to be fair to Willie Griffin, what else could he do? I'd say he just got there I'd say we're talking milliseconds late. Mike Quilligan actually, I was going to compliment him when he stopped the ball, how quick he got up to flick it away. And Willie Griffin, like, I didn't think Mike Quillivan could get up and after a great 7 flick it away that quick. So well done, Mike Quilligan. He's after stopping the goal. It's after resulting in a free out, and John O'Halloran is letting the game go on. And so there's nothing going to happen with the events up the field.
That's it. Well, Quilligan, his knee heavily strapped, kind of stumbled out of that one as he poked it as long as he could. Hurley gets on it. Brian Hurley, the captain, looking for man off the shoulder. That's Owen Hurley. Oh, Hurley slips. And Adare, they're going to need to find the back of the net. So we've 90 seconds or so of regulation left here in McNeville Park. But there's a push in the back there. Indeed, there is. Evan Sheehan, just a bit over eager, gets Sam Hickey, and a free in will come. So back to 3 points. Wow. I'm certain we're going to have the goal, but it's really changed the dynamic here in the last couple of minutes.
Yeah, and looking, I suppose, if you're after drawing 3 games out of 4 in the championship, I know it might have come back and fluke, but closing out a game is something you have to get better at, especially going up a level. So look, Newcastle West know they have it all to do, but I'd say they're craving a win in this Senior B and after 3 draws. So and again, permutations are right. Adare have to win this game to be definitely qualified to go through. So look, there's massive things at stake here. I would assume there's going to be at least 3, maybe 4 minutes of extra time here, Tom.
As it stands, Mungo are winning by 7, which if Adare can get back to draw, it won't be enough for Adare. We'll see Mungo through on scoring difference, but a goal has just been scored by Drummond to cut that back as Patrick Carney with the free has nailed it. Not sure what additional time we will have, but we have a 2-point game as Carney adds another. So again, tussling going on off the ball. I think that the puck out will be delayed. John O'Halloran eventually decides, you know what, lads, get up and get on with it, as Quilligan opens the shoulders, looking long towards the formidable force of Mike McMahon. Not there, not able to get it clean. On the break though is Dermot Lyons. Lyons does well. Oh, the throw has been called.
He at our angle, John couldn't see it. At our angle, he clearly hand passed the ball. You can see that over the same angle as the camera, obviously. It was a clear hand pass there. Well, I thought it was clear.
Yeah. There you go. That's the perils of refereeing. Yeah. But look, he didn't see a clear striking action, I think is kind of how the rule will be written. So, crucially, whether you agree with it or not, it's going to be a free for John Fitzgibbon as we're into 30 seconds beyond the allotted 60, and Fitzgibbon looked to nail this one. I wonder, do they know the story for Mungert St. Paul's? Mungert St. Paul's 7 to the good. They were 10 up, back to 7 though, as the ball is gone over the bar from John Fitzgibbon. He has carried the fight, been denied a goal, missed a penalty, got a point for his troubles, but has had another one here. He certainly wants to get his club into this quarter-final next weekend as the puck out goes long. Ronan Connolly is going to be beneath it for Adare. With him though for company is Owen Hurley. Connolly there, again everyone eager to get on the ball. Newcastle West want it down this end for the last minute or two. Adare though, through Connolly, get on it. Here's Wayne Mack. Gives it into Patrick Carney. Carney does well to escape the clutches of the Newcastle West defender. On the solo run is Carney. Look at the pace he has. Mike McMahon comes to meet him. Carney though escapes them all.
2 catches.
The 3rd catch. Well, did he catch it a 3rd time? I'm intrigued by it. Did he put it back under Hurley? Yeah, he caught it there actually. Yeah, is that what the call was? Indeed it was. He had carried it a long way from his own half, and Ethan Hurley will take the free. Mike Quilligan probably a little bit worse for wear. So it's their inter-county man at senior level as Mark Foley is called in by the referee. Just off your screen there.
We still don't know how many minutes have been played here. We got no indication.
We didn't unfortunately get a signal from the officials to our position here. So we are, as they say, at the discretion of the brewery official, as Hurley looking for options, sends it sensibly, I think, into that corner. Mike D is in there. D gathers it on the 2nd attempt. D off the left. Where's that going? It's going over the bar. Mike D puts 2 between them, and you feel now it's a green flag or nothing for Adare at the other end. John Fitzgibbon the target, out in front. Lovely left-handed catch from Fitzgibbon, sends his shot away and immediately replies, well, maybe they know more about the time than we do, because we're back to a point. But I'm going to have to check my my tables here, because Mungert have won by 6. So a 6-point victory for Mungert. We will find out what all that means when we have a result here. As it stands, Mungert are in 2nd place. But the men from Adare one end of the N21 against the side halfway along it, as they look to come up with an equalising score. Ronan Connolly sends it in around the house. Who's going to be underneath it? Ball breaking in the outside there. What's he done? There's another penalty.
Another penalty.
It was caught inside there by Brendan O'Connor. He's made 3 exceptional catches in this second half. That's the third of them. The first one led to a goal, the second one led to a penalty, and he's won another one here. Well, I'm not even from these clubs. Neither of us are, Jim Bob, and my heart is racing here. You know,
it's exciting. I'm going to go back to my original. You don't let him catch the ball, or you're giving.
Spoil him.
You have to get that ball to the ground, because unfortunately it results in giving the referee little options. Going on the replay there, he did actually look like he was definitely been held there. This is the most dramatic game I've commentated on ever, I'd say, Tom. It's all happening. Again, it'll be interesting, as John Fitzgibbon been told he has to go for a goal here. Surely he has.
Well, I think he does. I need to. I don't even know the answer to that one, but I'd say he'd be hoping for a better strike than the last one. Goes a bit lower, went it into the corner, and on 64 minutes, Fitzgibbon gets his goal. And what it means is Adare hit the front. They only need to lead heading over the finish line. Mungert on +10. Yeah, a draw wouldn't be enough, so John Fitzgibbon is beneath it. And here we go. There's a possession there. There's a free coming. There's a loose arm tackle on Jody Hannon. And the victory is what they need. They're 2 up. We still continue to play. John Fitzgibbon has been exceptional in the second half. Yeah,
look, if the result goes the way it's looking like it is going, I think Newcastle West, the only thing they'll have to find is how to close out a game and win it and when they're playing at this grade next year, because Drummer Lacker are gone down. But look, to be fair, Newcastle West done nearly everything right. Today they were nearly the better team throughout, if you look at all the stats and breaking ball and possessions and all that kind of stuff. But Adare, after just grinding this out, there couldn't be much more left. We're going into the 5th minute of injury time. But like, it's strange you say it, but a great performance out of the losing team, and well done Adare for having the grit to stay in this game and eventually win it.
Yeah, the men from Mungert will be disappointed when word filters through as John Fitzgibbon, I think he's sent that one off target. It looks like we're going to have another play, Jim Bob. Could there be another sting in the tail? It'll have to be a goal for Newcastle West. They will probably not know it, but a win will do little for them, other than pride really at stake here. A win will not send them through to the quarter-finals. Ball worked up the near side. Ethan Hurley looks to get on it, marshalled all the way by David O'Mahony. Is there a free coming? There is indeed. He's stopped there. The whistle has gone. And again, I think John O'Halloran's going to have to go over and have a word with the sideline there. He's having
a word at the sideline, but he's given time for
Adare to get
this
numbers
is one of
back.
the times where
there's no 3-up rule here. They're going to have what?
They've only 2 up, and then 1 now, because Brendan O'Connor's gone up the field.
Catch one at the other end. He needs to hurry, because this is about to be taken by Owen Hurley. And as I said, Adare or Newcastle West don't know the scenario, but they want to win this game. They haven't won a game all year. Goes across the face of the goal. It's staying in. Kept in play by an Adare defender. They work it out to Conor Ryan. Ryan has cleared these lines. There's a race for possession inside there. There is the full-time whistle, and Sam Hickey sees it. They're over the line. Adare have turned the tables. John Fitzgibbon's penalty means that they have done it, they have won it, and they're into the quarter-finals for the first time since 2017.
Yeah, look, amazing stuff. It's just one of them funny games. Maybe I'm being a little bit harsh on it there, I don't know. Maybe we were all Newcastle West in our commentary or something, but I just felt that they won more breaking ball. They were maybe better use of the ball and the whole lot. I think they made some really good tactical changes, bringing on Brendan O'Connor, bringing on Willie Griffin. They done it and brought him right back into it. But I thought Newcastle West just done enough. It's maybe that experience, know-how, all that kind of stuff that you'd associate with their football team, actually, and you can only get that from playing games like today. Unfortunately, losing and learning from it. But look, Newcastle West, you can see the Adare lads talking to them afterwards. They're saying well done. You can see it in their body language. Newcastle West can hold their heads up high, which you'd rarely say after losing a game. But it results in Adare 217, Newcastle West 118, and that puts Adare, is it Adare or Mungert through to the...
Monaleen have won the group. They've actually drawn their game with Palace-Kenry, so but they had the group one anyway. So Monaleen are first, Adare are second, third place will belong to Mungert St. Paul's, missing out narrowly. Newcastle West will have to be content with 5th place because Palace-Kenry have jumped them, but they do, I suppose, have the consolation prize, if you want to call it that, of senior hurling again next year. Unfortunately, we must bid farewell to Drummond at Laca. 2 years at senior has come to an end, so That's the lie of the table here. I'm just going to ask you now, it's a very, very good game. One of the best games I think anyone would have seen in the Limerick all season. Your Michael Connell Menswear man of the match. There was certainly a few candidates on both sides.
Yeah, and we were talking at half time even. It was a great game to watch and commentate on, but the nature of the game and maybe the elements caused some lads to be in and out of it. Ronan Connolly going over and Owen Hurley kind of took him out of it, but Owen Hurley had a great game up to that. I think on the Adare side, John Fitzgibbon had big moments in the game, obviously missing the penalty, scoring the penalty, getting the point straight after. Newcastle West going up there near the end, and Patrick Kearney came right into it. And from the Newcastle West side, Seamus Hurley, actually the whole full backline for Newcastle West had a great first half. To be fair, Ethan Hurley was immense throughout. He's probably in second place, but I'm going to give it to Con Hayes. He was the one player that was maybe the most consistent through the whole thing. He got 5 points in play, showed every skill in his locker. He was definitely the reason for the Newcastle West forwards getting on so much ball. He was the link, and today's man of the match I think goes to Con Hayes. I think he was far out in front, and just a word I mentioned to Mike McMahon as well, who had massive moments, had a great game as well, to be fair to him.
Yeah, well done to Con Hayes. Even in defeat, a tremendous outing from him. We'll try and catch a word though from the winning camp in the next couple of minutes. Congratulations to Adare, commiserations to Newcastle West. We'll have the highlights for you and we'll be back very shortly. The middle, Newcastle West looking to take a shot on here. Is that one going to go over? It might just do from Owen Hurley. Indeed it is.
Across the field here, and he read it beautifully.
Con Hayes wins the puck up. Mike McMahon on the turn, and McMahon just like that doubles the tally.
Different styles of play at the moment. Newcastle West very much getting the head up, trying to find the man, whereas they're trying to go running to the full forward line at the moment. Newcastle full back line, as you see, great score again from Owen Hurley.
Yeah, Owen Hurley.
Newcastle West stay on top of the full back line.
Yeah, free kick, free is worked short. Ethan Hurley opens the shoulder. That's going to go very, very close. It's going to go all the way over. Ethan Hurley.
Through the line stuck with section. Newcastle West are doing it with the wind, and that's why they're 4 points up at the moment.
John Fitzgibbon has got the settler. Quilligan. We'll see how far that carries. Well beyond the D, well beyond the 45. McMahon goes up for it, breaks nicely, and in there was Brian Nix. And Hurley decides to flick it in towards Con Hayes. Hayes from the 65. Has he got it? Indeed he has. A big Patrick Kearney. This is what he's all about. He's going to take on his man. Kearney does well. Oh, lovely block by Aaron Neville. Declan Hannon though. Hannon, ooh, just dropped the shot.
As he can, and as long as he can, so it's fairly simple to know.
So Hayes, this time it's Cahill Hayes, and Newcastle West do not let Adare come out easy. Here's Con Hayes. In fact, it's Cahill Hayes, I should say, picked up now by Brian Hurley, and Hurley shortens the grip and fires it over, and Miss Hurley, he'll be getting a nosebleed in a second, gives it on to Con Hayes. Hayes does well after a poor first touch, gets the second one right, just floats it into the breeze, and a lovely score from four as Quilligan from his own 45 puts plenty on it and plenty of accuracy too. That's a superb score running in it as Patrick Kearney lines up the free, and much needed score coming, you feel, and he's got it right. Willie Griffin though, he can. Kearney now is injured on the floor. Ball sent across the square, chance of a goal, and is it gone over the bar? I think it has. It's Sam Hickey, and had a good one from Sean Connolly, and of course to the left and right.
Yeah, and to be fair to Adare as well, it's very hard to get ball into Patrick Kearney at the moment, because they're trying to hit the ball 60 yards, get it in front of him, the high ball.
The short puck out goes long. Where's it gone? Is it into the back of the net? It is.
Putting the ball in there as a result of this free that we see Patrick Kearney taken out, so that was a big blow for Adare just before half time.
So Kearney,
they're going to go in with a small bit of confidence as bad as well in the first half if Patrick Kearney puts his ball over, which inevitably is straight in front of goal.
Yeah, indeed he does.
Full forward line as well, so the full forward line tomorrow is Brendan O'Connor. As you see, Willie Griffin there is out to centre forward, so that Brendan O'Connor, Patrick Kearney and Declan Hannon inside the full forward line. It's going to be one again by the looks.
Yeah. Ball worked inside by John McSweeney. Ball worked in straight away. Oh, back in the net.
Put out there now left giving away free there, so it's just interesting how a game can turn in the matter of seconds.
So former Limerick Mike Declan Hannon, probably not the first time that's happened. Hannon can't get there though, but does enough to disrupt, and now Patrick Kearney can get on it. Can he get his first run play? I think he can. Patrick Kearney already off to the races. Green grass in front of him, taking on Hurley. Hurley loses his Hurley in the way, and it's put inside. It's curling in lovely, and O'Mahony gives the thumbs up to sides though eventually to put it up into that Rakid sky. It's going to go close, but it's going to be short in around there. McMahon flicks on it, and it's over the bar. The old for the Magpies. Here's the midfielder Brian Nick, sending it along to Con Hayes. Hayes from the sideline, has he got that? That is one of the scores of this afternoon. And I suppose the crucial thing for them, as well and all as they've done, is they have to get their nose in front at some point. You know, it's all well and good to 2 again. Let's go back to 1 here. Carney with the furthest out he's been from goal really all afternoon. And,
where you're good at, and man's, as you say, one of the biggest men hurling in the country, so why not bring him out the half-hour line?
Okay, you're very welcome back to McNeville Park. We're delighted to say I'm joined by Willie Griffin of Adare. Willie, you're playing hurling a long time. I'd say there's been few games that have been as dramatic as that for you and everyone involved.
Yeah, I suppose. Well, it was nothing we didn't expect there today. I think in fairness to Newcastle, they've been a breath of fresh air in the senior championship this year. The way they work, the way they're hurling, I think that's probably, they don't get enough credit for the hurlers that they have as well. So we were expecting a massive fight there today, and that's exactly what we got. The conditions were tough, but I think 2 teams actually put up a decent scoreline in those conditions. Yeah,
he knew what a win would do. It's obviously put you into the last 6. It's been a while. I think 2017 maybe the last time you played in the quarter final. There's a good, I suppose, senior nucleus to it, but there's also a couple of new faces this year as well. So it's important for them now to be winning senior games and progressing into the latter stages where possible.
Yeah, definitely. Look, you'd rather be in this position this year than we were last year, fighting the last game to make sure we stay up. So it was great that it was in our own hands this year. And look, getting back to our quarter final, look, it opens up things for us now. As you said, we have a couple of new young lads this year, and it probably gives us older lads a bit of an issue as well in terms of getting into the team, as I know well at the moment, which is great. And look, it's driving everyone on, and it's nice to have a bit of positive momentum behind us now.
Yeah, just to sum up the last few minutes, I know John Fitzgibbon, I wouldn't say missed the penalty, but hit one over the bar. I suppose he showed great battle to come back. He also had a goal disallowed. I think you might have had a small part in that, but I suppose he dusted himself off. I mean, that was a big moment for your club, for your season. Dusted himself and dispatched that second penalty brilliantly.
Yeah, brilliant out of John as well. In fairness, to step back up again, and look, there was no doubt he was going to score the second one. In fairness, he doesn't miss too many of them, and I suppose it's great that we're giving ourselves those opportunities as well. With a couple of goal chances in the first half as well, probably just over the bar on 2 of them as well, and the one that was disallowed, yeah, I don't know. But yeah, look, we're giving ourselves those opportunities, and hopefully one day they'll all click, and we put up a good score.
Yeah, you obviously don't know who you're going to be playing at this point as one of Ahan, Ballybrown or Kilmallock, but great to be still in the mix. Great to have another week at least of championship hurling. I'm sure that's like almost like a relief, I suppose, at this point.
Big time, Joe. It's great to be hurling this time of year. I suppose it's all about games, and I suppose the right type of games as well, like a quarter final as opposed to a last round of a championship where you're fighting for your life. So as I said, a lot of positive momentum behind us now at the moment, but I suppose a thing for us for the last couple of years has probably been consistency as well. So it's about, you know, putting another performance, backing that one up, backing that lack of performance up, and going from there again.
Okay, Willie, thanks very much for joining us, and best wishes for the rest of the championship.
Thanks, man.
GK Carpentry and Building Adare for all your construction needs, also specialising in modular homes with a variety of sizes and finishes. Contact adarebnh@gmail.com. Con Brooder Kitchens and Interiors. Designs you can love and use. We are a family-run business on the Shannon Estuary in Glynn, County Limerick. The business was set up in 1984 with the vision of providing clients with excellent service, quality manufacturing, bespoke design and fitting to meet your individual needs. Con Brooder Kitchens and Interiors. Visit us at conbrooder.ie or call us on 068 345 66